We're working on a game called Galacticare, and in this video I'm excited to share with you the incredible journey of how we've implemented a feature that makes a big change to the management sim genre. Inspired by legends like Theme Hospital and 2 Point Hospital, we wanted to build upon the genre, create new mechanics and themes that make Galacticare completely distinct. Throughout years of development, we've definitely implemented a good few of those ideas into the game, but the ones that stand out the most to us is our Consultants feature. As you progress through Galacticare's campaign, you'll assemble a team of doctors who are like heroes in the medical world. These are your consultants. Once you begin unlocking each consultant, you can bring them with you to any of your hospitals, even revisiting previously completed campaign levels. Consultants embody the very essence of our key goals for Galacticare: intriguing gameplay choices, those nail-biting moment-to-moment decisions, rich characterfulness, and a deep connection between the individual levels. For the mechanics, we wanted each consultant to have their own unique mechanic or minigame, inspired by their personality and background. For example, Twiggy Pop is a pop star who decided to become a consultant. Her ability is a powerful buffing aura that enhances the effectiveness of all nearby doctors. We wanted players to be able to get creative with using these powers, so some may opt to build specific areas that are quite tightly packed so that Twiggy's aura can affect the entire area, or some may rather just have her in a section of the hospital that needs a little bit of extra help keeping up. Ultra, our tanky consultant, has a range of abilities which all focus around one thing: speed. She treats the patient super fast and then deploys warp buddies, which are tiny drones that teleport patients to the next treatment room, which significantly speeds up their recovery. And as you may expect, Ultra can also teleport herself around the hospital. This one should encourage the player to place Ultra pretty early on in a treatment pipeline, meaning her ideal place would be in the diagnosis room, which is usually the first step for patient treatment, in order to maximise the benefit of her teleport so that you can just get the patient to the next room without any effort. When you pair her up with the condition priority system we implemented, we just click a button to make one room prioritise one specific condition. It becomes a very fast and automated process. During Galacticare's lengthy development, we faced several iterations of how to handle staff progression. We were determined to push the boundaries of the genre, but it took a few rounds of development to get it quite right. Our initial idea was to create procedurally generated, unique doctors, but that very quickly became overwhelming. We liked the individual components we had, but we needed to focus that on a smaller group of doctors. And that's when we decided upon consultants. In the first iteration, consultants were simply evolved versions of regular doctors. You could choose any doctor and promote them up to consultant, granting them increased stats and equipment slots for unique abilities. But this approach had its issues. Consultants were constrained by everything a regular doctor could do. We had a constant tug of war between making doctors more complicated and making consultants simpler. Another issue was a lack of incentive to maintain and swap between a whole roster of consultants. Their abilities were mostly driven by what equipment the player decided to give their consultant, so the player would just end up swapping equipment to their best consultants rather than trying out different consultants for their roster. And lastly, they had very little room to play with when it came to narrative, voice work, and art, which are things we very much wanted, as they play an integral part in Galacticare. So instead of buffed up versions of our regular randomly generated doctors, consultants evolved into handcrafted characters. This solved all of our previous problems. Each consultant could now have their unique mechanic, enhancing their distinct role in the game. We dialed up their characterization to 11, embracing bespoke art, abilities, narrative, and voice work. And that finally allowed us to separate consultant progression from regular doctors. With this newfound freedom, we could seamlessly combine art, gameplay, and narrative to create a cohesive package for each character. Take Twiggy Pop for instance. Every aspect of her character is intricately connected in a way that wouldn't have been possible with randomly generated consultants. Now in our final iteration of consultants, they can level up all the way to level 10, retaining their rank between levels and boasting a skill tree packed with perks that are tied to their special mechanic, which basically just means that you can continue to upgrade them the more you use them. To support their extensive progression, the player can help consultants achieve their personal goals. For instance, Ultra might be tasked with treating 20 patients in projectile medicine. So if you wanted to level up Ultra even quicker, you could stick her in projectile medicine and lock her in that room. And that would make her reach her goal much quicker. Galacticare features a total of 6 consultants, one for each non-human species. Most levels grant access to 3 consultant slots, allowing you to mix, match and swap them as needed. Consultants open up a world of options, accommodating players with different levels of engagement. Whether the player is into optimizing or even speedrunning, consultants provide flexibility with however the player wants to play. Our goal is to offer multiple levels of depth and optimization for a more hardcore management experience. Players might find themselves juggling consultants during tricky levels or simply sticking with their favourites. And that is how consultants are changing the standard of hospital management sims. For all the latest, you can follow us on Twitter or join us on Discord, and make sure to wishlist Galacticare on Steam as it really helps us out.